So now that you've got your faint sort of block colour and starting to fill out on the carrot and the leaves, it's time to add more detail, and you do that by adding layer upon layer of darker colour. Be careful though, because every time you now touch that paint, it will start to actually lift off what's already there. So you have to sort of balance between the two of adding a bit in, but being aware that if you start to stroke with the paintbrush too much, it will actually lift back off again. I just want to show you quickly with the leaves. They come out from, you can probably see that I've now started to fill out. I've got some more stems coming out from the main stems that I did in grey. So all you need to do is just add in a little line, and the leaves are simply nothing more than just some little strokes coming off of those lines. It just starts to fill in. So leaves on the carrot, they're not round, they're not particularly full. You just add in a little line to the main stem and then some little strokes off of that, and it just fills in. So now we're filling in and giving more detail, I should say. You need the darker, so you need a stronger colour. So you still need vodka to make sure that it flows and creates a paint, but bring in more of the dust. So I'm just using a green, ready-made green dust here. I didn't mix this up myself. So you've got a stronger colour. And then just start to bring in some more detail. So you don't want to do every single leaf. You just want to bring in and hint towards a bit more. So I'm going to do the main stem. Maybe this one. And a bit more on my paintbrush. And just do a few of the leaves. So we'll do this one. Just to bring out some of the leaves and give it a bit more definition. You want to keep doing that and just work through and just try and get a nice balance between some of the paler and some of the darker. So that's not finished, but I will move on just to show you what you need to do with the carrot. So going back to our orange and yellow palette. Now this has gone completely dry because it's been a little while since I was using that. So use plenty of vodka. And if this vodka in the cup is starting to get too murky and too coloured, you might need to refresh it, so just tip it out and add a little bit more in. At the moment mine's still just okay because they're all sort of blending together, it's alright. So I'm going to mix up a bit of colour. Now remember, you're starting to go darker. Don't go too dark straight away, you can always go darker, but it's harder to then start lightening it again. So I've got a bit of an orange there. Now with the carrot, you want to start actually bringing in some lines. So carrot sort of has a lot of texture, so if you start bringing in, you just want to go across what you've done now. Start bringing in a bit of texture. It starts to give it a bit more definition. So you're not covering up completely what you've already done. You're just starting to fill it out with a few, almost slightly curved, as though it's going with the shape of the carrot, and across the top. And we're going to bring the green down into there with a bit of a darker green so that it looks like it's actually sitting into the carrot like a carrot top. So on a bit more dark orange there. And you see, and then as you go on, as you build up a bit more layers towards the edge, so you don't go right across, you want to start bringing in some darker streaks on the edges, but don't go down that line there. So almost create a centre line on the carrot, so it's on the diagonal, but create a line on the carrot, imaginary, and don't allow your darker colour to come into that, and that'll give it a bit more 3D feel. So you want to keep building it up, just use little strokes to add texture to it. And you want to do the same with the roots as well, so they do not need to be too dark, so try and keep them on the lighter side. So dilute that powder with plenty of the vodka. And you want to do as light a hand as you can, so really keep the paintbrush light in your hand. And you can see it almost starts, it starts to wobble a little bit, but that's okay, it will guide if you use the other hand as a guide. And just start to bring those down. And you want to keep them relatively faint, but you can just add in a bit more detail on the roots and it'll start to build up. So keep building up those layers, get darker as you go along, and then you want to start outlining in the dark as well. And with the green, you need to really bring it down into that sort of almost centre dip so that it looks like it's going into the carrot rather than just sitting on the top. And I'll see you at the next step.